everyone. Welcome back to the show. We had 2 days off. I took Saturday off and I was on Coffee stream yesterday. That was a great stream, by the way. If you didn't see it, I recommend you go to his channel or I've also reposted on my channel as well. You can check it out. Really good stream. Lots of gems in there. We talked about some really cool stuff. Really enjoyed it. So welcome back. We are here for a new series. We're doing a digging into series, if you will. So I want to start I'll be using AI. Not that it's the theme of the series, but I'll just give you an idea of what's going on. I want to take a topic relevant to PulseChain, and I want to dig into it and just kind of go through it with you and like show you how I do research and you can ask questions in between and all that stuff too. But that, and I'll be covering like other stuff as it comes as well. But just in general, I think this digging in series, I think it has been enabled by access to good quality information and my new Google search, perplexity.ai. It's really, really cool. They're not sponsoring us. They just make a really good product, especially the pro version. Like I said, it's $20, just like ChatGPT premium is, and better than Netflix subscription. I maintain that. And it's been super useful, and I use it a lot. So anyways, we're going to dig into privacy pools. I'm going to give you an introduction of how that even came to be a thing that is interesting to dig into. And then we'll dig into some of the details and kind of understand it more, which I think is pretty interesting. I think it's worth understanding. Hop to the chat real quick. 30-minute session today. Guys, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Crypto Toad, you're back. How's it going, man? Good to see you as well. Archie's here. Hello. Dom EO, one of those. How's it going? Susie Q. Good to see you. Always nice to see you in the chat, Susie. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let me first introduce the topic. And it's been a couple days. Had a couple days to think about this and see how to present it and how to get into it. Let me paste Money Gang's tweet here. So another really good post from Hocus Pocus. First, let's start there. Somebody I tested was testing privacy pools 2 months ago. And it turns out, the same address that deployed PulseX. So this has been covered a little bit, but essentially the PulseX deployer both was doing some stuff around stable swap recently, which was reported by Hocus Pocus and a few other people as well doing commentary on it. And then now, I guess people have been looking to see what else has been going on with this address, what else has been touching. Basically, it's kind of like the PulseChain's, think of it as the dev address. It can give you a hint of, they're forking stuff or doing stuff or testing. Otherwise, maybe you can get an idea or at least speculate on like what's next or what's coming or all this stuff too. And this one, is kind of easy to speculate on because it's totally fits the narrative of real DeFi and privacy and freedom and all that stuff. So they're asking, or they're saying here, is RH bringing zero knowledge privacy tech to PulseChain? And they got a paper here on privacy pools. Again, Vitalik has a great blog. Richard used to talk about his blog. It's like I think Vitalik is like the only person Richard regularly referenced or talked about, talked about his blog and otherwise. So there's a paper you can read here on privacy pools, novel smart contract-based privacy enhancing protocol. So that's like some of the really tech details. We're going to go back. Bunny Gang's talking about this here too. Here's what I know about privacy pools. Privacy pools attempt to fix the most important flaw in Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash users are not able to properly dissociate from illicit funds except by revealing their entire transaction history. Interesting concept. So this is a pretty cool privacy thing, and it sounds like it's using zero knowledge proofs, which is some really cool tech, and who knows, it could be maybe improved by AI or some other advances and stuff we have going on too. But in general, when I've been thinking about this, I was thinking, okay, if we are getting privacy pools, and that is part of some new features on PulseChain or with PulseX or otherwise, wouldn't it be interesting if that is kind of the answer to Tornado Cash stuff, the answer to the government just being like, we think you're doing something, but not that they shouldn't be able to do that in the first place. I don't even agree with that entire premise, as Nuclear Herbs had some commentary about this as well. Don't agree you should have to prove your innocence. It should be obviously the other way around. But if having Tornado Cash or having privacy that is as good as Tornado Cash, but also has these other features that literally be like, okay, you can't even try this. You're trying to do all this nasty stuff or whatever. You like you don't even need to do that. Don't even go down that road, because we can provably get away from anything that's been flagged as, illicit or whatever too. I think it definitely has some pros. But yeah, Nuclear Herb's comment on here, I think it's really good too. Good summary. I'll add, though, that we're being led to accept a completely false premise that that it is we who need to prove something. You shouldn't have to provably dissociate for crypto transactions to other people. Totally agree. So I think I don't think having privacy pools puts us in that position exactly. I think the angle is, the way I'm interpreting it, at least in the way that I imagine, if this stuff does get deployed, and RH may be thinking about it in this way too, is saying, look at what happened with Tornado Cash. All the mess, all the, just nonsense that's going on over there. Law enforcement has a job. They want to keep bad guys away or whatever. That'll mean they can violate our rights, right? So if no one's going to stop them for now, at least, is there other technology that can give us a leg up, that can help us have privacy and be like, okay, you can't come after good people. You can't come after people using protocols, because there's another feature, another way. There's a better way of doing it, and it's something to build upon. Something that's built better than Tornado Cash in certain areas, that can allow people to use privacy, to have privacy without fear of being, all the negative stuff that came from that. So I think it's a good compromise. Again, as long as we don't take it as we need to prove something, I think you could take it as the angle of, we don't even want to, if the government's going down the road of trying to take us down to have to prove something, we can remove that road altogether and just say, nope, you can't even take us down in that direction, because this protocol supports these features that kind of satisfy the itches in these ways. So actually so I have Nuclear Herbs coming on Wednesday, by the way. You do not want to miss that. If you have any questions for SEC or Coinbase stuff or otherwise, I'm actually going to put this on the list of things to talk about too, because I think it's really, really important. And he has a lot of great nuance on these topics. So now that you have kind of the setup, now that Hugh has came by, what's up, Hugh? How's it going? Shout out to the UK. Hope to visit there again one day. And now that Dr. Muscles has entered the building, just like Jay-Z, and all those great songs that come together and have the beats and have the kind of music that we like and is inspiring, and just strong people. I like strong people. So definitely want what Chad's avatar, the strength and mobility, a lot going on that. Avatar. It's always fun when it cracks me up when I look at it. So anyways, welcome, Chad. Good to see you here, man. You're just in time, because now we're getting into AI. Again, if you haven't been watching I did a whole training series last week. If you want to learn about AI, I suggest you go back. Well, first, I'll show you how to get there. So go to Go Real DeFi. Easiest way to get there, go to Go Real DeFi, learn to earn, and then click AI. That'll take you to the playlist that's got the first 5 are the training, day 1 through 5. And then the last 2 are a couple clips, or one's a video, interview with Corey. I'll be talking about it in another clip. But at least for us, the first couple days, the whole thing goes together pretty well. But at least the first 2 days for content creation is super critical if you want to get an edge in AI and be early, right? Like you're early in crypto, boy. AI is going to be fascinating, exponential curve we're on right now. So check that out. But perplexity.ai, one of my favorite websites these days, and what I use for a lot of research. I don't really, if I want to figure something out, I don't Google anymore. I only use Google for like very specific things I want to find references to, or otherwise, or if I just know Google has there before or whatever. But if I want to learn something, I want to research something, I don't use Google anymore. Like I don't see a lot of reason to use it. I use Perplexity, or I use ChatGPT and other AI tools, but this has been one of my favorites. So those privacy pools aren't a new thing. They're, new-ish, but I think they already exist in Ethereum in different ways. But that's what I'm going to ask here. I'm going to say, explain privacy pools on Ethereum and how they work, examples, pros and cons versus Tornado Cash, and what it would look like if they were implemented on PulseChain. And let's see what it has to say. So it's coming through. It's searching the web and using the AI tech to give us some answers here. It's citing the sources it used from different places. And it talks about, okay, privacy pools on Ethereum and similar blockchain networks are a response to the challenges posed by front-running and privacy concerns in DeFi. These pools operate by creating a more secluded environment for transactions away from the public mempool, which is a common waiting area for all transactions before they convert on the network. Yeah, that's, if you learn about validators and learn about blockchains and how they work, you'll hear about mempool and stuff like that. And then, so it talks about how privacy pools work. So privacy pools on Ethereum work by routing transactions through a private mempool service, which hides the transactions from the public mempool. This is primarily done to avoid front-running bots that monitor public mempool for profitable transactions. That's talking about the different, what are the bots called? The MEV stuff that happens. So services like CalSwap, BlockSwap, BlockNative offer private mempool services. The private users have security and privacy of transactions. I think also does Pidius do that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I've heard them talk about them doing that as well as another feature of their DEX aggregator. These services are particularly useful for large organizations. Sophisticated trading firms require quick, guaranteed transaction settlement without broadcasting their trades to competitors before they're filled. So examples of private pools. So this is talking about just private pools. So CalSwap, private mempool. And then, so is this actually, is it just talking about private pools, or is it talking about, shoot, sorry, I said private pools. I meant privacy pools. All right, now you know what private pools are. My bad, I had a typo. Privacy, they're pretty similar, right? Pretty similar. Okay. See, we learned more today. We learned more by me mistyping, misspelling it there. Okay. So privacy pools. I thought, I was like, is this leading into the privacy part? Okay. So, because they could be, private. So private pools. Yeah. Funny enough, I wasn't even thinking when I was reading it for a second there. I was like, yeah, private pools. That does make sense for that. But privacy pools, I was like, oh, just trying to learn about if privacy pools are actually private, have something to do with other features with private pools too, which actually they could be now that I think about it. But anyways. Privacy pools are a proposed solution to enhance transaction privacy on the blockchain networks while complying with regulatory standards. They are notably discussed in a research paper by Vitalik. The concept revolves around the use of cryptographic techniques as ZKPs, zero knowledge proofs, super cool tech, in order to allow users to prove their transactions are legitimate without revealing their transaction history. So I've known about zero knowledge proofs for a long time, being in tech industry and stuff. It's a cryptography thing that is really, really cool. And I remember even a decade ago thinking about how we can use zero knowledge in different ways and stuff like that. And again, I think AI is maybe going to help that, or other technology is going to take it further than what we used to have. But essentially, you can prove that you did something, or maybe didn't do something, without having to reveal what it is or the data behind it. So before, when I was thinking about ZKPs, it was around like the common applications in tech, for example. Could be like sharing data. You can prove that you have a certain kind of data without having to reveal that data itself. So you can use it in all kinds of different transactions and stuff like this. So obviously, it's like perfect for this kind of stuff of being able to prove that, or not only prove, but again, the other way, be able to separate yourself from a certain group of stuff that has been, right, for example, deemed illegitimate or whatever, that kind of compromise. So how privacy pools work: operate by creating subsets of wallet addresses within a cryptocurrency pool known as associated. Okay, told you it has something to do with pools there too. I figured that could have led into it. These sets categorize wallet addresses into groups that are considered non-critical or good, excluding those deemed suspicious or associated with illicit activities. When users withdraw funds from the pool, they can generate a ZKP that accomplishes two things: verifies the user's transaction is legitimate, not associated with any blacklisted blockchain address, and it doesn't have to reveal their identity or transaction history and stuff like that. So this system allows for maintaining transaction privacy while also providing a mechanism to separate lawful activities from potential criminal ones. Okay. So examples of privacy pools. So let's see. Okay, let's talk about the compared to Tornado. I think that's the biggest, most interesting thing too, is like, what is the difference between using that and Tornado Cash? So again, it's just talking about the compliance part. They're designed to satisfy regulatory requirements without compromising privacy. It's like a pretty cool like feature like that, right? And so you can think about with Tornado Cash, it's like, you know, I don't know the technicals behind it, like how it works, but it's, I think one maybe good illustration between the two is one, think of that, you have a pool of transactions, you have a pool of, you know, funds and all that stuff. With Tornado Cash, there's no way to like separate them or keep them, you know, or determine different details or otherwise about them or to do stuff like that. But with privacy pools, you're able to do that. The users are able to like separate, you know, in different groups of transactions, stuff like that. So again, satisfying your ability to disassociate. Selective transparency, users can selectively reveal information about their transactions. But yeah, so you can only reveal like what you need to at the time. Unfortunately, if you ever had to do something like that or otherwise. Reduce risk of illicit use by excluding known bad actors, suspicious funds. Actually, this is an interesting point. I'm curious to see how this turns out. So by using this, the bad actors and stuff aren't going to want to use it because they know that they won't have the benefit. It's kind of like, instead of treating it as everyone who uses this as bad, if you can separate the different transactions or wallets or whatever from that, then all of a sudden, you know, maybe the actual bad actors and stuff, like whatever, how that's defined, won't want to use it because they know that they can't just hide with everyone else type of thing. So I think that's like another you know, use case there for it too, that it enables. So minimize the risk platform used by that stuff. Okay, so cons, complexity. So inflation may be more complex than existing. So yeah, probably more complex. Newness, new concept. So yeah, real world testing has a hell of real world testing, such as in years and years of use and people trying to break it otherwise, such as you know, Tornado Cash type of stuff has. And then regulatory uncertainty, despite the goal of having compliance, actual reception remains uncertain. Yeah, it's like nobody that okayed this is the thing. But it's definitely, I think it has a much better, you're much easier to argue a case for this being a compliance than if there's just nothing whatsoever with Tornado Cash. Now, trust me, I'm on the side of like having as much privacy and freedom, all that stuff too. But I consider myself a pragmatic libertarian, like rational optimism, right? But pragmatic libertarian, where, you know, I don't think it like, you know, I think there are some need for some social services and stuff like that. But just a minimal amount of them. And the same thing here, like a minimal amount that doesn't compromise the whole ideal of the thing, I think is what that gives you the most ROI, to give you a lot of ROI without compromising the entire ideal, I think applies here. And that's why I could see this as being interesting and perhaps a solution and just an improvement for privacy that doesn't just get attacked all the time. It's much harder to attack, I guess. That's the key point. So implementation on PulseChain. So PulseChain is a separate blockchain network that aims to enhance Ethereum's capabilities, faster block times. You are correct. Privacy pools for implementing PulseChain, they would likely need to be adapted to networks consistent. Okay, so just work on the network that you're going to run on. Implementation would involve developing smart contracts on PulseChain that creates that. So the original tweet was it testing? Okay. So testing privacy pools. So I don't know if that's a fork or that's just a deployment or otherwise, but testing sounds like they exist in some way. So it sounds like we've already got that part. So we already have some tech to do it. And then integrating zero knowledge proof compatible PulseChain's architecture. Okay. Well, it sounds like it kind of goes hand in hand now that if something has been deployed or tested or whatever, it sounds like a lot of that, the hard pieces have been figured out. And then ensuring privacy pools and PulseChain align with that. I don't think that's very important. So long story short, potential benefits of implementing privacy pools on PulseChain would be similar to those on Ethereum, offering users enhanced privacy while comply with regulatory standards. Like why not? So I like this related questions too. These are pretty cool. These are like some of the things. What are advantages of privacy pools over Tornado Cash? Click on that. Like it actually suggests intelligent follow-up questions. Like Perplexity is awesome. What's up, Armando? You saw the solar eclipse? Nice, man. Yeah, it's pretty cloudy here. I haven't been able to see anything. I haven't even checked how much we could see, but yeah, shout out to everyone seeing them. It reminds me of the Trump in the video. I think maybe Money had a video on this too. Maybe that was part of the Pump It Up video where they're like looking up, they're trying to look at it, and the price. They have Richard like doing the meme of like price going up, and they're trying to. The prices went up so high we can't see where it's at. It's amazing. That's what I think of when I think of solar eclipse these days. The worldwide event just comes back to the hex memes and stuff. So several advantages over Tornado Cash. Again, we talked about that. Transparency, association sets. Yeah, so that's pretty core. Seeing rewarding good behavior. So can prove they belong to a trust group. Potentially interesting. I wonder what kind of rewards they would gain by being able to do that, like having a good reputation with the funds or something like that. Okay. What's up, Franklin? See you, man. I had another follow-up that I thought was good. Does it still show the follow-ups? No, it doesn't show them anymore. How would users use privacy pools once deployed on PulseChain? So give me an idea of how you'd actually use them. So it's going to ask this. No, just it's going to ask for, do I have more information on PulseChain? No, just adapt it from Ethereum stuff. Should be pretty similar. Hey, it's got my video here. It's literally pretty cool. So, I mean, it shows so many different coffee videos on these. Actually showing the video that we're watching now, the thumbnail for it. So once privacy pools are deployed on PulseChain, users will be able to use them in the following way. So you deposit funds, start by depositing their funds in a common pool. PulseChain's pool would aggregate funds to various users, making individual transactions less traceable. Zero knowledge proofs: when withdrawing funds, users would generate ZKPs. These proofs would allow users to demonstrate their funds are not connected to anything with Black. So this is actually interesting because so you can deposit, and then yeah, when you withdraw, I guess it would know like which wallet you're withdrawing to, and then they would be able to connect that. Like if there's like blacklisted wallets or something like that, I wonder. So depending on where you're withdrawing, maybe they would know that way. I'm not sure. But it's pretty interesting how it would determine that, because if you're afraid if you deposit, you won't be able to get your funds out. Or if you make a transaction, you're afraid to get blacklisted. It sounds like it would solve both of those, assuming you didn't end up on some list like you didn't deserve to be or otherwise. So withdrawal to a new address, after generating CPP, user will be able to withdraw to funds to a new address. Oh, interesting. So address will be untraceable and unlinkable to previous transaction history. That's pretty cool too. So you generate a new address. So would that give you new keys to a new address, or would just give you generate another address? Yeah, interesting. Opt out of anonymity sets. Usually would have the option to voluntarily remove themselves from any anonymity sets if it's stolen or laundered funds. Help the community defend against. Okay, so it's basically it's solving two things here. One, getting rid of the making people afraid to use these things, because there is a way to dissociate funds from ones that have been deemed not good or whatever. And two, it would de-incentivize again, bad actors, however you define that, from participating, because they wouldn't just have this ability, okay, it's anonymized, it's gone. They wouldn't ruin it for everyone else either, that sort of thing. So that's interesting. So they'll be able to use their MetaMask wallet or other compatible wallet to interact with the PulseChain network, to be able to adjust their wallet setting to connect to the PulseChain network. Okay, we know that. Yeah, I think that's the two biggest things out of there. Okay, what's privacy? So I wonder, so the only other question I can think of too is, would this be a separate product, or could it be integrated into the products we already have, such as PulseX? or such as another, another DApp or something that's been launched already. So could privacy pools be integrated into a DEX like PulseX? I'm just going to ask. I don't, because that would be an interesting feature. Oh, you can deposit the privacy pools and stuff too. Like you could have a tab that says privacy. Maybe everything, is that the thing? So, okay, I guess there's two ways to look at this. Would it be a new DApp built and launched on PulseChain by the PulseChain dev team if this came to life? Or would it just be another feature of PulseX? Because I mean, this is what it says. Yes, privacy pools could be integrated into a DEX like PulseX. So if that's true, and we've seen in the last few days, people talk about two things that we've seen the PulseX deployer testing or forking or otherwise, which is stable swaps and privacy pools, which was a couple months ago. Is that just telegraphing a couple of new features coming for PulseX? You could speculate that in addition to single-side staking limit orders, all the stuff that people have been talking about, maybe in addition to that, new features that could be coming are privacy pools and stable swap stuff. That's interesting. So I'm going to wrap up here in just a couple minutes. Get your questions in if you have any. Welcome, Kai. I'm just going to ask one more follow-up. How would privacy pools be integrated into PulseX? List steps. So much better than Googling, right? Integrated. Okay, so this is pretty cool. Please select the type of integration you're interested in. Use ZKPs for transactions, association sets, KYC and allow listing for privacy pools. Let's at least do these two. So once we have the stuff and the contracts, get to the part where you're actually integrating. We need audits. Let's see. Okay, that wasn't super helpful. What would PulseX look like with an upgrade with privacy pool features? I think it would just be another tab. I'm trying to visualize what the UI would look like. Like you got trade, earn, burn info. Would it just be like, trade, earn, burn would be like private pools down here, stuff like that. So user experience and integration, opt-in for privacy enhancing trade. Okay, so this is an interesting point. Integrating the existing PulseX interface, allowing users to opt in for privacy enhancing trading. Interesting. I wonder if it would be like you're doing a trade and it'll have like a little box that'll be like private transaction, something like that. I wonder if it actually be applied to trading. I wasn't really thinking of that angle. I was thinking like this moving funds around angle, but if you put it into trading, that's very interesting. Incentivization, LP may receive additional incentives for participating in privacy pools. Would you get ink for providing LP for privacy pools? Is that a new farm has been added, but it's like a privacy. We're gonna have privacy farms. Let's see. What's such a thing would? Let's see. Could it be integrated for private transactions for trading on PulseX and be incentivized for LPs for farming or private farms in this sense? All right, last question. We're gonna wrap up this. It's a pretty cool rabbit hole we went down here. Don't want to answer questions. Just try your best. So integration for private transaction on PulseX, smart contract development, develop and deploy smart contracts on PulseX. Create privacy pools within PulseX where users can trade assets confidentially without revealing their wallet address. Incentivization, private farm fee structure, yield farming. Yeah, I wonder if there would be a yield farming thing for privacy pools. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'm just trying to go off of like, I hope the AI is not, hallucinating or just like trying to lead into these theoretical things. All right, let me just double check this too. Be like, do any private farms exist on other blockchains or LPs getting incentivized on other platforms for privacy pools? I just got to kind of double check and I just don't want to believe like, oh, I'm just going to build up this thing that doesn't really exist. But if it's kind of, sometimes it's hard to see, are you actually building off of things that already exist or have happened, or is these just theoretical things? So I want to kind of double check that. Do not mention private farms blockchains. However, do discuss various aspects of liquidity pools and terms of yield farming. So, okay, so are there any yield farms with private pools? I guess that's the question. Sorry, not private pools, privacy pools. I said it again, didn't I? Okay, just hit the stop button and do the edit button. Privacy. Wrap up in just a second here. Hope you learned about privacy pools. So I think if you didn't know about them before and you're listening, I think you probably learned quite a bit. I've been learning while we've been doing this. No direct mentions yield farms. Do that. Yield farming's profitability for. So nobody's talking about, okay, so maybe that's just a theoretical thing. That could be interesting though. So at least private transactions. Let's say, are there any DEX with implementation of privacy pools? Let's see if any DEX has actually implemented privacy pools, or is it just like the tornado, like where you'd lock up funds, you would draw them on the other side or at a certain time, however, or otherwise. Okay, DEX privacy pools. Shade swap, privacy preserving DEX. It doesn't look like you use privacy pools though. Incognito PDEX. That uses DKPs for privacy, sharding for high throughput. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's using exact privacy pools, but these platforms demonstrate the practical application of privacy pools in DeFi space. I guess maybe privacy pools is just kind of like the generic term encompassing different types of things, like such as DKPs for transactions and the different dissociation stuff. I guess it's kind of like umbrella term for a few different protocols that do stuff like that. So I guess in a way you do have some of the stuff like this, but yeah, definitely, wow, early stuff. I wonder, PulseChain, place to innovate, right? All right, that was digging into privacy pools. Now I feel like I know a lot more, you know a lot more. Could be some new features for PulseX coming up for the couple things we talked about as well. And next one I want to do this week, if I get time, we'll do digging into stablecoins. We'll talk about different stablecoins and how they work, and again, using Perplexity to dig into that as well. I think it'd be really fun. So that's all I got for you today. Again, if you want to look at the AI stuff, go to gogrowdefi.com, learn to earn, and then click AI and go watch the first couple episodes. You will learn a lot, pretty sure. Anyways, Crypto Compassion. Replay gang, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, though. Armando, appreciate it, man. All right, everyone, thank you very much. That's all I got for you today. Scivive and 5555. We are out.